Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Can Do Entertainment Presents May the Force Be With Who. Now this is going to be my full and complete review of Wonder Woman, the brand new DCEU offering that we finally got. And as I said in my first reaction video Thursday night, it kicks ass, y'all. We finally have a Wonder Woman, or we finally have a DC superhero movie that delivers on everything. I saw it for the second time today, and I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first time. Now, basically, we get your basic origin story for Princess Diana of Themyscira, the Princess of the Amazons. And the stuff on Themyscira is awesome with the Amazonians, and the stuff with little Diana just wanting to, go against her mother's wishes. There we go. Need to buy a vow. Get that out of the way early. But wanting to go against Queen Hippolyta's wishes, played by Connie Nielsen, her mother, and start to be trained as a warrior because the Amazonians have been put on Themyscira, or better known as Paradise Island, to be, set away from man and to be about love and peace. And in case Ares, the god of war, ever returns, the Amazons will be ready, or the god killer. But we'll get into that a little bit more later. Now, like I said, the stuff early on with the little girl Diana is really cute, and that little girl is really kind of precocious, and it sets the tone early for the film. And then we gradually get into where Gal Gadot takes over the role as we see Diana age up. And as we know, Chris Pine plays Steve Trevor, who always eventually ends up being Wonder Woman's boyfriend. And as you can see from some of the shots in the trailer, when his plane crashes, she rescues him, and she's never seen a man before, and blah blah blah, the rest of the story. Well, this is all going along at the same time as World War I, or as the Great War. And the Germans are hot on Steve Trevor's tail. He is a spy for the Allied forces, and they've tracked him to Themyscira, and we have a big battle on the beach between the Germans and the Amazonians, which is a really well choreographed fight scene. Robin Wright really stands out in this, and like all the stuff on Themyscira with Connie Nielsen and Robin Wright is really good, and all the other ladies they had playing Amazonians. The fight scene on the beach is awesome. And then, of course, Wonder Woman gets her mission to go to take on Ares, because the Amazonians are under the belief, or at least Diana / Wonder Woman is under the belief, that Ares, the god of war, is responsible for the war to end all wars, otherwise known as World War I. So, against her mother's wishes, she goes off with Steve Trevor to London. Her mission is to find Ares, and she believes if she kills Ares, she's going to end the war, and man will be in peace and whatever. So we had our typical fish out of water stuff when Diana gets to London. Some of that was really cute. It wasn't overdone. The stuff with Etta Candy and Diana doing the whole trying on, real lady clothes and stuff was cute, and it wasn't done to death. It was just enough. There's a lot of humor in this movie, which was kind of lacking from BVS, and it was lacking from Suicide Squad as well. This movie is not dark. Now, it has its moments of seriousness about war and the horrors of war and the ravages of war, but it's not bleak and depressing. If anything, it's kind of, I guess, what they would want a Superman movie to be. It's because it's very uplifting and very heroic and it's a positive type movie. Now, a lot of people were afraid, and I was kind of one of them, because Gal Gadot has not had a whole lot of acting experience, and what she has had has not been very encouraging. But I can honestly say that after a second viewing, that Gal Gadot is the best thing in the movie. Or I want to say that her portrayal of Diana and her eagerness and her wonder, no pun intended, at the whole man's world and confronting Ares and wanting to set things right, it sets the tone for the movie, and she's the best part of the movie. And her chemistry with Chris Pine, who plays Steve Trevor, it really is the foundation that the whole movie is built on. And Chris Pine, who we all know has been Captain Kirk in the Star Trek reboots, and he's been good in those, but this is probably the best I've seen Chris Pine in anything as well, including a couple other movies. He was real good in Hell or High Water, but he's got a kind of roguish charisma, kind of a kind of the whole, light Indiana Jones thing going on, and it works. And his byplay with Gal Gadot is the strongest thing in the movie, and it's real, and you buy it. Now, it's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. There are some solid supporting performances from David Thewlis, who plays Sir Patrick, and then I mentioned Connie Nielsen and Robin Wright, who were Hippolyta and Antipathy, or I'm messing the name up, I'm sure, but I got to get to my things that unfortunately I didn't think brought the movie down a little bit, and that was the villains, which was General Lufendorf, which was played by usually solid Danny Houston, and the Dr. Maru. I don't know the actress's name. I don't think I've seen her in anything before, but she's the one that's got the face mask thing going on. And yeah, they're kind of snidely whiplash, real. And there's also a part that the General Lufendorf is taking these kind of capsule things and sniffing them, and it's doing some effect to his face, and they never explain what the hell it's for. And you're kind of like, okay, so he's getting high off this gas, and yeah, all right, cool. But there's especially one scene where the two of them are just real kind of, we're evil, and it really is just, it's really over the top and not in a good way. That's probably the biggest negative I have in this movie. Now, as I touched on earlier, Diana's big mission is she thinks that if she finds Ares, the god of war, who's been she believes has come back to Earth and is the reason for World War I and all this killing and carnage, that it'll end the war. So off to the front she goes with Steve Trevor and another lovable band of rogues who, I'm not going to list them here because I'm already at 7 minutes. But the battle scene on the front and that leads into the village is awesome. It is the highlight of the movie, getting to see Wonder Woman on the big screen kicking ass. Now, there's an earlier high point back on Themyscira. There's kind of a watch/dick joke that really hits. Sorry I didn't mention that earlier, but like I said, there is a lot of humor in the film, and it works. But the battle scene, the battlefront, and the village is probably the highlight of the film, and it just really, it's supposed to be kind of awe-inspiring, and when Wonder Woman gets out on the battlefield and kicks ass. Which, speaking of, I've gone nuts with the Wonder Woman pops. There's like the real Wonder Woman and da-da-da-da-da Wonder Woman, and there she is like in the blue dress from the trailer, da-da-da-da-da Wonder Woman. And I even got the Wonder Woman bombshell that looks like the Rosie the Riveter thing. Wonder Woman. And, just because I'm a sucker, even having the Wonder Woman DDP commemorative cans, and that's DDP Diet Dr. Pepper, not DDP Yoga, which I've ordered that, but that's another story, never mind anyway. So moving on, the battlefield and the village scenes are awesome. And then we have a big final confrontation towards the end where General Lufendorf's plans to use Dr. Poison's gas to win the war for the Germans, not to mention the hunt for Ares and the final confrontation with Ares, who I had a feeling early on who Ares' real identity was, and I was proven correct. And if you see this movie, you might figure out the real identity of Ares early on too, but I'm not going to spoil it here in this video. But the final battle between Diana and Ares is great. And there's just some moving stuff with Diana and Steve Trevor. And it ends great. And there's also some callbacks at the beginning of the movie from that picture that we got to see in BVS from the movie. And basically the movie is actually, along with being an origin story, it's kind of, telling the story of the picture that Lex Luthor had, that Bruce Wayne has, and da-da-da-da-da. It all kind of ties together, which is leading up to Justice League this November. But all that aside, Wonder Woman is, it's awesome. It is the DC movie we have been waiting for. And for those of us that have a thing for Wonder Woman, or have a thing for the DCEU or DC fans, this is the movie we've been waiting for. Wonder Woman, at least in this iteration, feels more like Superman than Superman does, if that makes any sense. I mean, Man of Steel was a good film, but he was just basically becoming Superman, and then he was kind of a pouty bitch in BVS, and now he's dead. So, but this was a very positive movie. The direction by Patty Jenkins was outstanding. She definitely needs to do some more superhero movies. I'd rather see her direction for the DCEU than more from Zack Snyder. But it was awesome. And for those of us that have had a thing for Wonder Woman, mine goes back to all the way to 2005, buddy. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm gonna give it a 9. I would give it a 10, but like I said, the main villains outside of Ares, who we don't discover Ares' identity till the very end of the film, they had a little cheese factor going for him, which is unfortunate because Danny Houston is really normally a solid villain. He's done some really good work in American Horror Story, and he was one of the better villains, or one of the few bright spots as Colonel Stryker in the horrible Wolverine X-Men Origins movie. The less said about that movie, the better. And he's popped up in a lot of stuff. I mean, he's one of those guys that's got one of those faces. You see him and you're like, oh, I know who that dude is. You may not know his name. But I'm going to give it a 9. Outside of Logan, it's probably the best movie I've seen all year. And I might get some arguments about that because Logan was awesome. But this movie had me feeling on a different level than Logan did, because Logan was kind of closing a chapter, whereas Wonder Woman is beginning a chapter, or finally kicking off the DCEU the way we want it to be and have hoped it was going to be since the beginning. So Wonder Woman's great. I've already seen it twice. I'm going back tomorrow with my brother-in-law and my niece. She didn't go with me today, so we're going back tomorrow. So that'll make 3 times in 3 days. So yeah, Wonder Woman kicks ass. So I highly recommend it. Get out and go see it as soon as possible. On a personal note, the League of Fools, we had a gig last night at the Dugout. It went well. Thank you for everybody that came out. We have another gig tonight at Fairview Tavern. And so everybody that's local to Western North Carolina, we hope we see you there. You can check us out on our YouTube channel, which is League of Fools YouTube, and also on our Facebook page, which is League of Fools Band. And yeah, click like, subscribe. So that's going to do it for my full Wonder Woman review. And let me get the bombshell Wonder Woman back in there. Yeah, see, Wonder Woman. Anyway, so if you've dug Wonder Woman back since the Linda Carter days, or from the Justice League animated or Justice League Unlimited animated days, or even I want to give a quick recommendation to the Wonder Woman animated movie that came out in 2009, if I'm correct. Kerry Russell did the voice of, from TV's Felicity. Nathan Fillion plays Steve Trevor, and it's kind of almost the same version of the movie that we get, just more of in a modern day setting. Ares, the God of War, is a villain in this one as well. They've released a commemorative issue of this. It's got new packaging and everything. It's got much more pizzazz than this one does. But if you get a chance, check that out too. It's one of the better DCEU, DC animated universe movies, especially better than some of the ones that have come out lately with the whole based on the New 52 thing. Damian Wayne, don't even get me started. But anyway, that wraps it up for the Wonder Woman review. That's going to do it. The Doctor Who 4-season arc review, I hope to have up sometime tomorrow. If not tomorrow, at least by Monday. And then next week, the kickoff of the Monsters Universe series, or the Dark Universe from Universal, with the Tom Cruise Mummy remake with Sophia Boutella and Russell Crowe. So I'm going to try, I've already got tickets for that, so I'll try to get a review up for that next Saturday. So that's going to wrap it up. Man, this thing's going to 14 minutes. It's a long ass video, so I apologize for rambling on, but like I said, I got a thing about Wonder Woman, buddy. So anyway, I'm out. Everybody keep on keeping on, and may the force be with who?